Yeah, once again, welcome everyone. So quickly, we briefed that what we have covered so far. So we have covered so far this Agile Manifesto and then principle framework, and we had given some assignment like listening to Earl Nightingale, and then the last one was exploring to the tools. So Nisha said that she explored Taiga. Okay, wonderful. So we had around the last 5 tools. Where we asked you guys to start exploring. And what were these last 5 tools? So let me bring, yeah. So these were iScrum, Taiga, Scrumpy, Handsoft, UTrack. So I want to hear feedback from you guys. Nisha, since you said that you explored Taiga, what was your experience? How was your understanding? So could you please quickly share with us?
Yes, I tried to explore Taiga. I went through a couple of videos of how to do things. And I did try creating a project, where I named the project is like a coffee shop online ordering app. And then they allowed me, I used Kanban with it. They had an option of
Wow.
Scrum Kanban, but I went in for Kanban. So I made the first list wherein, whatever XYZ, and in the second one, like active, and the third one is in process. So until those 3 I did.
Wow, wow. Awesome and great to hear about this. And
I could add users also, like who is the programming team, like just the email ID and the name of the person. I added 3, 4.
Okay. Did this excite you? Means
Yeah.
giving you the feel that you are exactly getting into and connecting with the real-time environment, where in the corporate, how people try to visualize some data and interact with their peers, talking something about projects. So did you get slightly feel about it? Yeah.
Oh yes. Oh yes. I also hand drew some of the requirement, like certain things, and then I would just take a photo and scan and upload it.
Great job, and wonderful to hear this. So can we all unmute and give a round of applause to Nisha for doing this, because this is really takes a courage and commitment to
really
do this.
Nice, Nisha.
Yeah, thank you.
Gaurav ji, can
Absolutely
I email
right.
you
Yes.
the photos of what I did, because I don't know what I'm doing is okay or not. Like,
yeah, definitely you can do that.
Take the screenshots and email you, so that
Definitely.
don't know if it's
yeah, you can you are free to do that. You can definitely do that, and going forward in coming days we will also take a deep dive in various tools, and we will have the feel about it. Okay, so thank you so much, Nisha, and wonderful, congratulations, because you did it. So anyone else would like to add if you have explored some tools, because it's all about your commitment. Yeah, go ahead, Silcha.
I have also tried Taiga, but I have just gone through the demo session what we had. Like it was for optional Kanban and plus Scrum. So I just went through Scrum, what it like how it works. Wow. So I've seen like backlogs, epics, and how you can keep track of the team, how the progress is, and you can see the sprint. So that's
wonderful. So did you also get the feeling that you're heading towards understanding this agile and Kanban and the boards actually able to visualize this thing? Yeah. Thank you, and truly appreciate your commitment and what you have done. So it's excellent. Can we all applaud for Chanchal as well? Thank you so much for doing this. It was amazing.
Superb, Chanchal.
Thank you.
Awesome. So yes, Mayank, eager to hear from you too.
Yeah, so I tried UTrack first, and I wasn't impressed with the interface. They wanted me to download 15 things, and then it was complicated, and then my laptop wanted the administrator there. So then the next time I tried Taiga. Taiga, I was very impressed. The interface was very inviting.
Wow.
And I created a small project, and I'm still going through it, defining points, close points. So I didn't go through the whole thing, but I'm still exploring it. And it's very user friendly, I would say.
Awesome, and great to hear this from you. And did you also get the confidence that you are somewhere getting somewhat of real-time experience what exactly happens in the corporate world and basically towards Agile? Did you get that feel? That's important.
This was like I don't know if I got that feel. This was like logging into a software application, Salesforce or something like that. So
okay.
Not,
but could you get the understanding on which what exactly you are doing and what is exactly happening inside the Taiga? Could you get that? You could not get that?
I think I need to explore more.
Yes, definitely. You will have to again. And since you have more better experience than others, so I must tell you that you should also go ahead and explore a little bit further. These are easy tools because Chanchal has got the experience and Nisha in one explore. And I must tell you that this is going to give you the experience as well, that what exactly you are going through, what exactly you are exploring upon related to Agile. Okay, but anyways, let's give a big round of applause to Mayank as well, because he kept his commitment. He did it. So thank you so much for doing it and bringing to us back. Thank you.
Very
nice,
man. Yeah, this is awesome. Absolutely overwhelming to see within 1 day of period. I'm pretty sure you guys have your other commitments, but you still took out time and religiously, completed the assignments. So definitely worth appreciating. Superb, Nisha, Chanchal, and Mayank. Really.
Yes. Awesome. Mayank, you were to say something.
No, thank you very much. So I feel like what I'm trying to learn through is with this training as well is I feel like this is a part of a real-time experience. So I'm just trying to think that in my mind, and I'm not trying to treat you as a instructor. I'm trying to treat you as a colleague, and you're trying to go through the process. So
that's actually great. If I know, what do you feel, Gaurav? It's like we're working as a team. We can be a small scrum team, and operate on that level also. Yes,
true. And that's the entire intention, and that's the entire vision. Okay, because you can duplicate the things, but you cannot duplicate the intent. Okay, and that's what gives the result. Okay, intent is the part of implementation. So we are going to look forward into that. Okay, so wonderful, well done, and you guys have done it. And in future we are going to get more deep dive inside few of tools, because you need to have some hands-on on that as well. So that can be brought through experience and through exploring them further. Okay, so on this note, what I'm going to do is that I'm rolling further towards but before I roll further, let me ask you guys who else are there here. So Pallavi and Dipti, are you able to connect with us? What exactly we did? Are you with us?
Yes, I was able to, connect. We are trying to practice some tool for Agile, which will be using in real life projects. So I have not actually worked much, but I have pretty much good experience with Jira.
Yep, good, great. Jira is wonderful too.
Not the rest one. I mean, I even I didn't heard of rest of the tools, Taiga and all those. I just know the Jira.
Jira is the top-notch tool in the industry. Everyone is using. I'm another fan of Jira as well. So what about you? Who else
exploring others? Yes.
Who else is left? Can you add something? Was it Dipti left out?
This is Dipti.
I think Pallav.
iPhone. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah.
I didn't work on that Jira and any tools, but I'm trying to learn all these things.
Awesome. No problem. So thank you so much all for coming on one page, and we can proceed further, and let's move ahead and see what exactly we are going to do today. So iScrum is yeah, go ahead,
sir,
please.
Just one question, sir. What will be the schedule of our classes? It will be like 3 days in a week, or
it's 3 days in a week, Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday.
Okay, it's Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday.
Right.
From 8:30 to 10:30.
8:30 to 10 max. So 90 minutes is our target. In 90 minutes, you can consume much, we can give much, and we can understand as well.
Yes,
so
yes.
We don't have to make you feel overwhelmed. So things should be chewable. So that's the target.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So it will be Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday, 8:30 to 10.
True. You are right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, welcome. You're welcome. So here I'm just talking about one quick project even I did. So it's a dummy project. It's an ice cream. So here you can see the dashboard, which gives you the complete dashboard, the complete look and feel about. So we will come to know about what is definition of done, what is retrospective. So these are ceremony in the agile event. So today Prerna ji will be talking about this much. So the name of this project is PTIC. So here you can see the backlog items are created already. Okay, it has got some value 1, 2, 3, 4. You will find something has been done. So you can see that every this is called as sandbox look, and inside every sandbox there is a backlog items you can see. So these are the backlog items. There are few are done. So all are appearing as if they are card. And you remember when we were explaining you about Kanban board, we were talking about some sticky notes and some cards. How many of you remember this? Did you remember from previous training that I had? Okay, yes. Presented that. Thank you so much for responding, guys. So and you can have a picture all at once. Okay, so all cards are visible over here. So this is all about backlog items. That's how it looks like on iScrum. Then there is another in planning phase. What exactly happens? So you see that in the sprint, few things are in progress. Okay, the sprint 3 is about to be planned, and that's why it's in planning phase. People are working inside sprint 3. You see that we have 2 weeks of sprint here. The timeline is appearing. So this is very user friendly, and you can initiate a new sprint from over here. Okay, you can get inside every card and you can see in this task board what all are there inside. And here you can see that there are multiple tasks. So task 2 of 3, what exactly is there. So one task is done. So few are in to-do list. You can just explore it further when you will click on. So this is just to give you the visualization how it is appearing inside one project management tool. Okay, so Jira is also one kind of project management tool or test management tool. So it gives you the entire phases.
Gauraji, I have one question. Gauraji,
yeah.
So what is the workflow? What was the project of just a high level?
Okay, high level, and to just give it a simple crux. Workflow is nothing about a cycle or say that.
No, what I was trying to understand, like your project you were looking at. I just wanted to understand what was it about? What were you trying to achieve here?
Okay. In this project, this project is nothing about one coffee shop. Okay, so in coffee shop something is happening, some activity is going on, and we have divided it's a different activity like serving, then inventory management. Various activities are there, but I'm not getting into the details of it. How we have broken down every single thing in small pieces, because we are anyway going to learn about it in detail in through coming training. Okay, here I'm just intending to give you the visual experience that how exactly it look like in any project management tool, which you will be going to utilize when you are on the workplace. So in the workplace you need to deal with such kind of tool. So I'm just giving you one kind of review. So did I answer you what exactly I'm doing over here? Okay. Okay. Yeah. Awesome. Thank you for asking and getting it. So here is the task board. So there multiple things are there. You can get its entire look. So here in this task, this is how somewhere it looks like Kanban board or Scrum board, where you will get another idea about every card, every task, which is in done phase, which is in progress, which is in to-do list, and from which sprint it comes from. So this is how you are going to experience in different tools as well. And then features is something which you can explore further. So features means in this project, what all features we have included in. Okay. So this is all about this experience inside one project. Okay. So coming back to our PPT. So let me reshare the screen.
Gauravji, I have a quick question.
Yes, please go ahead.
Like it's just common sense, I know, but please correct me if I'm wrong. You need to update, like who does this in whatever the tool we are talking about. Like it's the responsibility of the techies, or it's a Scrum Master who updates these user stories. It's a basic question. I mean.
Okay. So let me tell you, going further, we will also learn about self-organized team. Okay. So initially is product owner's responsibility, and we have we come together in sprint review meeting where we so how exactly it works. So let me give you a brief understanding. So what is project? Can someone tell me in one line what is a project? Can someone tell me? And who is asking this question? I'm not able to get it, but
me, Chanchal. This is
Chanchal. Okay. Yeah. So Chanchal, do you have any idea what is project? What you can talk about project in one line?
A certain task which needs to be completed.
Okay. Yes, that's correct as well. So anyone else want to add about project? What is exactly project? Anyone? So you can volunteer.
Project is maybe what the client has asked us to implement, and a requirement from the client.
Yes. Great. Good answer. So without further ado, let me add over here. Project is nothing but whatever answer you have given is correct, but in one line I can put in as project is nothing but a bigger vision. Okay. A bigger vision of your client, and this bigger vision gets broken down in small pieces. This vision may have some sub-vision, means some another bigger chunk of activity which needs to be accomplished. Okay, what we call it in project management term, we call it as epic. Epic further gets translated into various business cases. Okay, and those business cases are then called as user stories. Okay, we are going to learn about these as well in coming days, and every user story will have different task and activity for which everyone is responsible. Your dev team. So in Scrum team also we are going to learn that we call who all consist of Scrum team: product owner, development team, and Scrum Master. So we are going to learn about them as well. So what exactly happens is product owner's responsibility to giving the assignment even of creating user stories. Okay, so he may or she may delegate this activity to business analyst. Okay, so based on his understanding and based on the communication and based on the previous meeting, he or she can decide. What also product owner does, based on the meeting, he comes up with the various technical user story and non-technical user story. It may have some test activity and non-test activity and also dev activities. So is it making some sense to you, Chanchal, what I'm telling you? I'm just giving you a brief, and we have not touched this anything for now, neither the Scrum team, nor about the use case, nor about the user story, or nor about the epic, but we are going to learn about every single thing in coming days. Cool. So
thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for asking, and you're welcome.
Quick question. So project is the overall scope. Scrum and all these are, approaches and workflows, right? So why did I get lost there?
Gaurav, you actually kind of completed our today's explanation in one sentence, Gaurav. Please, so first of all, guys, you're on the similar lines with us, and I'm very happy that you're exploring all these. But give it some time. When after the sessions or before we joined, me and Gaurav always have these discussions wherein we do not want to bombard you with too many concepts at one go. So we are taking it a little slow, wherein you can digest whatever concepts or methodologies or examples which we are sharing. So whatever Gaurav explained and you had asked, like what is, what are the roles, what anybody works, how it is used in real life, everything is gonna come, but step by step. So today, just to give you a brief, Mayank and everybody, we will be exploring and explaining that what is exactly Agile and Scrum, because many a times it is used interchangeably, but it is somewhere not. So we will go through it. So I'll just again, give back to Gaurav as he was explaining this wonderful dashboard and, all this process. Yes, Gaurav.
Before taking a deep dive further, it's very important where Mayank has just stopped, and it's important to unstuck you, because at thought level, when you feel unstuck, it's very easy to continue with the digestion process of whatever is being served to you. So yes, Mayank, what was the confusion where you felt unstuck and something was itching in mind? So in thought, you can tell me.
No, you said the project is the requirement. It's something what the client wants, and we are trying to achieve that. And then you said it's like a project is in
bigger vision,
bigger vision, right? And in Scrum we used epics, right? It's like a story. We use those epics. So I thought I lost the gap. I was not getting.
So consider as if
every sprint is not a project, right? Just to make sure, every sprint is not a project.
No, every sprint you can say or you cannot, but let me simplify this with some example, of course. So say, for example, there are 3 clients, okay? And I'm giving you the example of banking, okay? And I'm, while giving you example, I'm also thinking it loud that how I can place it further. So you do ATM transaction, right? Sometimes? Yes. Okay, super. So when you do ATM transaction, there are understand that it could have 3 parts. Okay, one part is account cash withdrawal. Okay, another part is cash deposit, and another part is check balance. Okay, or check balance. There are 3 features which has been included with one ATM dispensing project. Say, for example, I am a bigger client, and what I come with one project and I give one project to Accenture, one project to Capgemini, and another project to Mindtree. And with one small unit of Mindtree, I'm working with check balance. One small unit of Capgemini, I'm working with cash withdrawal. And one small unit of Accenture, I'm working on cash deposit. Okay. So for me, my bigger vision is what? ATM management, okay, ATM machine management. But for these guys, for Capgemini, for Mindtree, and for this who else, Accenture, okay, Capgemini, Mindtree, Accenture. So every small module is a bigger vision for them, okay, because they are working with clients one goal, one vision. So what he does, every individual these vendor, what they will do, they will convert this one vision into epic. Okay, so for Capgemini, say for example, they are working for cash deposit. They understand, they will park it and write one epic for this, and in one liner mentions. So say for example, it's IndusInd Bank, or it's say what any another bank, it's NetBank. So what exactly NetBank wants to enable the feature of cash deposit using ATM system or ATM management system, something like that. One liner Epic has been now created. Now come back to another guy. His name is Accenture. Accenture is talking about cash withdrawal, and he can write his one goal of cash withdrawal with NetBank, cash withdrawal feature enablement for NetBank to be in the place. He has written so you can write one statement in your language. Okay, so he has written its cash withdrawal goal in one statement. Epic is created for this Accenture, and the similar manner it will go for who else was remaining? Capgemini, Mindtree. Okay, so did I make you some sense that how exactly we have a bigger goal with the core client, and it came to vendor, and every vendor adopted a different features and made it their bigger goal for themselves, and they translated them into smaller epics. Did it make sense to you, Mayank?
Yes, it did. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Super. Thank you for asking and helping me to clarify you. So yeah, over to you, Prerna ji, now, because this is the topic today. I think you are going to take. Yeah, Agile and Scrum. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Gaurav. So yes, guys, this is what we have been saying some time back, that Agile and Scrum, and these terminologies may sound same. People at times, use them for each other, interchangeably. And honestly, this is a typical, very good interview question. So when we are sharing or giving you details about the theory or making you understand, one aspect is always about how you would answer this question in a vendor or a client interview. So often it is regarded as same, but is it the same? First of all, having this question is itself is good, because when I was new to Agile, they're very like Mayank and others, Nishan, Pallavi, also Chanchal were asking we worked on sprint. What is a sprint, and is it the same as project? And so I'm very happy that you're coming up with these questions, because you're exploring and you are getting to know these terminologies. So we will just briefly start with, are they same or what is exactly the difference? Okay, we'll go slow and steadily with each point. Wherever you have doubts, please let me know. Okay, so the basic difference between Agile and Scrum is, Agile itself is a complete philosophy or a methodology for project management, right? It is, and we, last couple of sessions, we have gone through what is Agile Manifesto, what is Agile Principles. So Agile has its own specific details, its own pillars on which it stands. So it's a methodology. When I say methodology, am I clear? Everybody understands what it is. It means it's basically a philosophy to work on project management. It's a baseline how you can conduct and how you can implement projects, right? Am I clear on this? Agile methodology,
yes.
When I say?
Yes, very clear.
Yes, thank you so much. Okay, so so basically Agile is what? Agile is a continuous iteration of development. When I say iteration, means when we were talking about sprints, so we have a continuous flow of sprints. We plan a sprint of maybe 2 weeks or 4 weeks, and until the time our project ends, we keep on having these sprints. And as we work on sprints, as you guys are aware, there is a backlog, because in earlier sprints, some of the action items are not completed. They might be taken into this sprint. So in such fashion, we keep going in a circular motion, as in we complete the earlier unfinished tasks, we are taking new tasks. In this sprint tasks, we'll get into a next task. So it's a continuous and circular, or rather I would say iterative process. So this is basically what is Agile. But then when we talk about Scrum, and I think we have spoken enough about Agile introduction and Agile understanding in last sessions, when we had a good interaction and good explanation of how, what does Agile mean and all. So what is Scrum? So basically, Scrum is a process which we use to deliver using Agile methodology in a shortest time. So there can be many processes, but Agile is one of the topmost widely used and widely recognized process to follow Agile. So it's like Agile is a methodology and Scrum is the way how you implement it. So it's simple as that. Project management is the methodology, or BA Scrum is a methodology, and Gaurav and Prerna are implementing it, or rather, training it to you guys. You can try to visualize or conceptualize like this. I'll still deep dive more into it, but this is just a beginning. So basically, Scrum is a framework wherein you utilize all the Agile mindset or fundas or algos or pillars which we studied, and with that help you work on developing, delivering complex projects or big size projects. So so in this, the more emphasis is on software development, but it can be used in other scenarios also. And as we're talking about IT and IT training and IT jobs, we will definitely focus more on software development, but that does not mean Scrum is only restricted to IT. Scrum is a framework, it can be used in any other industry. So it can be used in sales, it can be used in medicinal research, it can be used in marketing, it can be used in schools, it can be used in colleges, in any other industry, other platform. So yeah, can you please move to next slide, Gaurav?
Prerna, in one slide we said like Scrum is a framework, and there are multiple other frameworks as well, which are there, right? What was there? Some of the other frameworks named just to.
Honestly, I would really request Gaurav to pitch in because I have heavily worked on Agile. So yes.
Okay, so. Thanks, Prerna ji.
Yes,
so,
yes.
I'll pitch in. So, you remember last time we were talking about some frameworks, 3 common framework we talked about. I have talked about Kanban. I have talked about 2 different framework as well. Who has remembered this? Anyone remember this?
Extreme programming.
Extreme programming. What else?
Scrum and Kanban. And
yeah. So Scrum itself is a framework. Kanban is another framework, and Extreme programming. These are 3 commonly used framework. Okay. So we will come to know about how these framework works upon. So more things are there inside what Prerna ji is explaining. But did I answer your query, Mayank?
Yes. That's exactly. So Agile is, a bit Scrum
approach,
is one
methodology.
Of those, yes.
Agile is a methodology.
Scrum is one of the framework.
Right.
Kanban is a framework, and there are other frameworks as well.
Yes. And Scrum is one of the widely used framework. It's not that Kanban and XP is not used, but if you like how we are trying to explain you with the day-to-day real life industry experience, in my experience of so many years, we have heavily used Scrum because it's pretty adaptive, and you can actually match that with your day-to-day workings, like how you have meetings and how your general workflow of project management goes. Scrum is very close, and over a period of time people are very comfortable, right? So terminologies are also used.
I have a question.
Yes.
So Scrum and Kanban are 2 different frameworks.
Yes.
It's just a confusion because I have Scrum and Kanban in my resume. So I just want to make sure that can we use Scrum and Kanban both in one project?
Yes, we can.
You do.
So I was just about to tell about this, that you understand about these 3 being individuals, Scrum, Agile, and XP. But since it is agile and flexibility we are talking about, so we have come up in some projects in past and in real-time experience, that we have merged few features, and that does how the Scrum Bun is another framework kind of, which is the combination of Scrum and Kanban. So let's not get confused about this, but just get the understanding this is possible, and we can explore it further. Okay. So did it answer your question?
Yes, sir. Yeah. Thank you.
Awesome. Okay. Yeah. Back to you, Prerna ji.
Thank you so much, Gaurav. Thank you so much. Can you please move on to next slide?
Yeah, here you go.
My laptop, it seems it's slow or it's hang. 1 second. Yes. Yeah. So, okay, this is a very small yet very interesting diagram, I would say. So what is agile? And I really wanted you guys to visualize it. So as you can see, there is a circular picture, rather a circle, wherein we are just mentioning deliver incrementally instead of all at once. So will anybody be able to explain what they understand when when it is written deliver incrementally? Mayank or Chanchal, Nisha, Pallavi. When I say deliver incrementally, what does that plain English words mean, or what sparks in your brain when I use these words?
So this means that every deliver in you go from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, not just go 10 directly. So it's
perfect.
We're going through a process.
Perfect. Very, very well said, in a very easiest manner, I would say. Perfect. That is what we have been explaining, that when we were studying or when we were discussing about waterfall, the entire intention used to be, okay, deliver at one go. Do you say deliver at once or at one go? No. In agile, as you can see, these small red boxes kind of they have made in this diagram. So those you can assume those are sprints, and then you deliver sprint wise. So and I think we discussed this enough yesterday. At the end of every sprint, you're providing a delivery. You're giving an output to your customer. So so they are the output or the progress of sprint is measured with that. That out of the user story, what is the backlog, what is the sprint contents, how many issues it has. So basically, sprint and Scrum, these are two different things, because sprint is a part of Scrum. When you use Scrum methodology, or when you use Scrum framework, I would say you implement sprint. Sprint is like your timetable, if you have to put it in the simplest form, like how you have it, like how we have a schedule for our training thrice in a week. Similar way, sprint is a timetable wherein you have a 2 to 4 weeks schedule made for what are you going to task, what are your going to intentions, what you have to achieve as a part of development team, as a Scrum Master, as so this is a way you manage your tasks, you manage your projects, or you break down your task. So this is called as sprint. So again, it's yes.
Is each sprint a separate task?
Yeah. So when I say task is a very lightweight word to use. Each sprint is like each season. You know how we have seasons in all the big shows. So basically, each sprint is broken into minimum 2, maximum around 4 weeks. It generally doesn't go beyond that as per industry rules. And each sprint has a particular set of tasks or action items, if I have to call it. So each sprint is different. Generally, when we work on complex or high intensity, high pressure projects, we have around maybe 4 to 5 sprints, depending on the complexity and the size of the project. It's not that there are projects which can go for a year also, but then every sprint, every 15 days or 1 month, you are expected to deliver. And as we studied yesterday, you are expected to deliver a working module. It can be a small module, it can be a small task. As Gaurav mentioned, with respect to ATM management, it can be a workflow of money withdrawal from ATM or pin change in ATM, any small things on which you were working on that workflow. Workflow is the right word, I would say. And delivering that in an entire sprint, it should be your goal. An entire team, development team, your technical manager, your scrum master, your BAs work towards that. So have I answered your question?
Yes. So each sprint can have even more than one task, like multiple tasks.
Absolutely, absolutely. When I said when I said sprint is a task, I was just trying to give you a comparative or understanding view. Each sprint consists of multiple action items. There is a user story. There are issues. See, user story is basically your task in words, described in words or in a detailed analysis or details of your task. That's why it is put as user story. It's a terminology we use in sprint, which will come again in the next session. But right now, as we are in topic, I'm just giving you some idea about it. So your sprint consists of your user stories, your issues, as in while working, you might find there are some issues or bugs that you have to resolve, as well as, unless it is a first sprint as you're starting fresh, but the subsequent sprints, generally have backlog from the earlier sprints. When we say backlog, we know that there is some remaining task or remaining some maybe minor items which were pending or after customer review. As we have frequent customer reviews after each sprint, there might be some updates which client wants after their review or feedback. Those have to be completed. So sprint itself is like a small project application management unit wherein you are implementing on that. You're working towards your development part. You're working on achieving that that workflow, to complete that workflow. So sprint is basically a timeline given wherein you're supposed to work on the decided or discussed action items for customers. Am I clear on this now? Others also?
Yes.
Okay. So
I
here
have a question.
Yeah, please. Yeah, please go ahead.
Epic is something, it's a collection of user stories. So as you said, there are many user stories in a sprint. So is it possible there may be multiple epics in a sprint, in a single sprint?
I suppose, as far as my practical knowledge goes, epic is generally like a one-liner wherein it gives you a 10,000 feet view of the application, and it's generally one. But Gaurav, if you could add onto it, I'll be more than happy.
So just to answer you briefly, yes, it can be, the answer is yes. Okay. How we will come to know about this, and since I have taken the opportunity to speak on this, so I'll also add something what Prerna ji has just now spoken. So yes, just to simplify this, what is sprint? Sprint is nothing but, as she said, timeline. It's a period. Okay. It's a duration of any small activities combined together. Okay. And what is backlog item? Is nothing to your to-do list. Okay. So this is in a simplified way. So back to you, Prerna ji. Yeah.
Thank you, Gaurav. So yes, there can be multiple epics and there can be multiple user stories. But who asked that question earlier? Was it Nisha or Chanchal?
Me, Chanchal.
Okay, Chanchal, but when we talk about the best practices or the routine job analysis, is to simplify the work mode. Generally, we do not have too many things in one plate because the ideology or the concept behind Agile is we break into chunks. If you could see this boxes, it's basically like, you break down bigger tasks into smaller tasks, and you implement those tasks. Or when I say task, it is not one task, it is a combination and of many tasks or many action items, which Gaurav rightly mentioned, to do things or backlog of earlier sprints, and then implement them, or rather even more than saying implement, deliver them. You have to deliver them after each sprint. So this is basically what sprint means. So if I have to go back to the theoretical part of it, Scrum is a subset of Agile. I think everybody understands what is a subset, right? So Agile is the big framework, or sorry, methodology, and Scrum is a part of it. Like how we mentioned, Kanban and XP are also different frameworks. So it is basically a lightweight process of agile management and most widely used one. As in, throughout my career, I have heavily worked on agile and Scrum, because wherever it was agile, maybe I have been more on management side. That's why maybe in case of development, there can be XP, extreme programming, and pair programming. But yes, the direction which we are going in for BA Scrum is generally widely used. It's not that other frameworks are not used. So again, reiterating of what I was discussing, it's a particular set of practices / many tasks which needs to be followed in a consistent and a continuous manner. And yes, we had this, there are framework requires use of development cycle like sprints. And in case of XP, we have pair programming, as in we have two resources working very close with each other. They review each other's code, they review each other's output, they review each other's issue fixing, or rather we call it bug fixing. So there are different ways, but in this session, we are as of now focusing on Agile and Scrum. So does anybody have any doubt in this particular slide, wherein what is Agile and what is Scrum and how a sprint works is just given in a glance? Mayank, Chanchal, Nisha, Pallavi. I'm missing.
Good, thank you.
Okay, great.
I'm good.
Anything?
No, I'm good.
Okay, thank you so much. Gaurav, can we just, yes. Okay, so it's more in detail. I have a lot of good, and by the way, all these theoretical or pointers have been added from your interview point of view. So these words like lightweight and Scrum process and artifacts, all these are like, small punchlines which you can actually use during your interviews. We can definitely plainly talk in English, but when you use particular terminologies, particular keywords, that was the case with our exams also, right? If you write a particular keyword, you might get a point or two more. So similar fashion, when we talk in this manner with the use of these keywords, saying lightweight or Scrum process or sprint and stuff like that, the interviewer understands that, okay, you might have worked on this, or you do have a good understanding of the process. So that is why these material is mentioned. So try to grasp that well along with the concept. So lightweight, when I say Scrum is lightweight, that means the process is kept small as possible, as in we do not have sprints of 6 months and 3 months. No, it is minimum of 2. Generally, it's not a hard and fast rule, but it's minimum of 2 weeks and maximum it goes to 4 weeks. So it is manageable. You know what is happening. And why it is designed in such way that the maximum output is expected. As we studied yesterday, we are working with a bunch of highly skilled and highly motivated people who work in a great coordination with trust, and this is supposed to be a very ideal environment, because the amount of stress or the amount of pressure they have for delivery rather requires or can be only met with such an environment. So lightweight stating, you have to cut smaller chunks of your bigger project or your bigger activity and deliver them as well. And in Scrum, there are different categories which we will in Scrum process, which we'll study in the further sessions. Those are Scrum roles, artifacts, and time boxes. I think that what Gaurav had showed you the what do you say? That framework that time he was showing you what is a sandbox, and there were different sections. So similar way, a Scrum also has roles. I'll just name a few. We will study them in next session. It's like Scrum Master, Product Owner, you have development team. So these are some roles, and these all roles are assigned specific jobs. What is the job of a product owner? What is the job of Scrum owner? Sorry, Scrum Master. What is the job of development team? But then, as I mentioned earlier, we are going it slow and steady. So each day you understand few new concepts, try to digest in, try to sink them in, and then next time, with the basis of what we learned earlier, we go to the next time. So roles on purpose I have kept for this next session, wherein we will explain that along with the other topics like sprint planning and stuff. So Scrum is, this has already explained, but again, I'll just repeat for registering purpose. Scrum is widely used to manage complex and bigger software with, we have iterative project, iterative and incremental way of development. And we have, I think, enough discussion on this, that it does increases productivity, it does increases the output, it does gives a lot of confidence to the customer as compared to the waterfall. I guess everybody will agree on this with me, right? We have had a very good discussion about why waterfall is not being used now. So yes, why Scrum? So Scrum basically allows you to, work in a rapidly changing environment with your requirements changing every day, or at times every hour within a day after discussions. So to achieve that goal, Scrum is used, and there are when we are saying why Scrum and how we are utilizing Scrum, there are benefits to using Scrum. Gaurav, can you please go to the next slide? I'll explain what are the benefits of Scrum when we are using.
Yeah, I'm going to next slide. And just to add one more thing, so I'm just sharing my experience, like Prerna ji have added over here about the duration of one sprint. So one sprint can be of minimum 1 week and maximum of 6 weeks, but very rarely you will find that any sprint gets over within a week's time. So sometime you will find it is overlapping towards the 10 days, and that's why be connected with as being of 2 weeks, and it goes till 4 weeks. But sometime whatever we plan, not necessarily we achieve that. Okay, and that's why 4 weeks to 6 weeks of outer timeline has been defined for one sprint to be at maximum end. Okay, this thing I just wanted to add. Why did I add? Because tomorrow, if you are working rightly in some organization, and someone says that, okay, what could be the minimum timeline of any one sprint, you should be aware of this. So yeah, so back to you, Prerna ji. I'm going to the next slide. Here you go.
Thank you so much for adding that, Gaurav, because I was trying to map those with real life scenarios. But yes, interviews question at times pretty theoretical or concept based, so they should be aware of it. So yes, this is one more diagram to make it more interesting and to help you visualize how the basic Scrum flows and what are the benefits of it in the further slides. So as you can see, the first left side, yes, that is a product backlog. As Gaurav has been saying, I was repeating, backlog are the action items or the issues which are pending from the previous sprint, unless it is a first sprint. When we start on a fresh slate, on a fresh note. That time we have our action items. When we go to second and subsequent sprint, there is a product backlog which is there from the earlier sprints. That can be again due to you could not finish those action items in that sprint, or after customer or client review there was something updates to be done which are pending and the week was over, so you have to take it in the upcoming sprint. So that is a product backlog. Then comes sprint planning. I'm just explaining this diagram. All these topics are crucial in further sessions also. So we will deep dive into them. But as of now, I'm just explaining you the basic Scrum process flow. When you say Scrum, this diagram should be in your head. Try to visualize it. Take a picture of it in your phone. Just look at it if you know whenever you get time or whenever you are just researching or studying or even think before joining a class. If you look at it, you're like, oh, this is Scrum. So this is the product backlog we have that we need to work upon from earlier sprint. Then we have your sprint planning. Sprint planning as in what are we gonna achieve in this sprint? What are the action items? What is the delivery expected? What is the timeline we have? You know, what is the duration we have? Okay, for say 4 weeks. Taking an average. So within next 4 weeks, if we want to deliver say 40 action items, just for the sake of simplicity, so I have to deliver as a team, as a Scrum Master, it's my responsibility, or as a development team lead, it's my responsibility to deliver minimum or perfect 10 action items every week. So that would ultimately result in 40 action items at the end of the sprint. So like that, you have a very detailed and very specific project, sprint planning. Trust me, when I was a part of organizations like Accenture and L&T, and when I implemented this in IndusInd Bank, we used to have daily tasks. Those even used to be at times monitored. In the midday, like, oh, where have you reached? It's been like 4 or 5 hours. So imagine you work in such a tightly knit environment wherein everybody is observing. Your seniors know, your Scrum Master knows what you're working on, your colleagues are aware, or you are aware of the team's entire output. So it is a very high intensity, high pressured, as well as good productivity and a comfortable environment output. So yes, your sprint planning has to be perfect or very accurate. Then you have your sprint backlog. Earlier sprint backlog, also you take it forward. So that is also here. And then there comes the main Scrum team. Scrum team consists of your product owner, Scrum Master. These all will be explained again in further sessions. And your development team, as you can see, there are many different colors icon. And then you have daily Scrum. I think I did mention this in earlier session that we used to have and we still have daily Scrum or stand-up meetings. So stand-up meeting, as I explained, you actually stand up during those meetings. You don't sit and you just share maximum, I think, 3 things. That what you had worked upon yesterday, what is the output of it? What are you going to work today? And if we are facing any challenges or anything that needs to be conveyed or communicated, you are free to speak about that. And it's very crisp. It is not you're giving details. It's like, okay, I did work on a pin change functionality yesterday. It worked fine. Today I'll be working on cash withdrawal functionality and I'll be testing that, but I have this issue that I'm not able to how to fix it. Yes. Is everybody with me on this? How the Scrum meetings, how the stand-up meeting works? It's so, I'm not sure if you have worked on this, but these are not like a typical boring board meetings where we sit for hours and somebody's talking and you're just listening. It's very interactive. It's like how we're having these sessions. Like after every topic, we're asking you the feedback, how is it, or what we have learned. So any questions on this, Nisha, Chanchal, Mayank, Pallavi?
Yeah, what's the difference between a product backlog and a sprint backlog?
Okay, so basically a product backlog is a very big chunk, as in from your entire project point of view. There might be many pointers which can vary, which can contain items from different sprints. See, per se, if say we are in the 4th sprint, okay, and product backlog means all the backlogs from 1st to 3rd sprint, whereas a sprint backlog means the earlier sprints backlog. So that is why it has bifurcated, because there are sometimes very crucial points which are not addressable, or which are not the team cannot implement them or take a decision on, for a variety of reasons. There might be a management decision, or there might be a budget constraint for implementation. As I was mentioning, sometimes you need licenses, sometimes there is money involved in getting some technologies used, or some frameworks that needs to be hired by the company, some licenses. So that is all cost. So some decisions you cannot take, so that goes into a bigger, see, that's why it is a big icon which has many action items. And a sprint is generally the backlog of the earlier sprint, which is carried forward. So that will give you an idea of, if you're in the fourth sprint, okay, these are the pending items from the third sprint. I think, are you okay with it, or hello?
No, I'm good. I'm good.
Yes. Gaurav, would you like to add anything on this?
Yes, yes. Please. So I just wanted to more crispify it. Whatever Prerna ji has told, just I wanted to give you the visualization. Understand this as a complete entire project. Say, for example, I'm a bank, and for me as a bank, I have various projects. One is online banking, another is core banking, another is, say, for example, phone banking. So what I am doing as a bank, I'm now targeting on core banking. Now, core banking is a bigger project. And in core banking, there could be various backlog items. What could be those various backlog items? Say, for example, branch opening, branch closure, then cash withdrawal, cash refund, cash deposit, then ATM swiping machine. Then in the ATM inside, it could be co-brand card, credit card, debit card, something like that. Various product backlog items are there. Okay, what exactly happened at the next step? We have the at the initial step, before starting any project, we have the pile of the backlog item. Did it make sense till so far? What all product backlog can exist of? Did it make sense? Then I will proceed immediately further. Yes. Thank you. So in sprint planning, what exactly happens? Team comes up together. We will talk about that, who all get involved into a sprint planning meeting. So in sprint planning meeting, we identify the complexity and priority of any feature which we are going to take up. And based on the complexity and priority, we define which will go inside the current project. Say, for example, this entire product backlog has to be finished within 6 sprints, and every sprint for me is of 3 weeks. I'm just referring it for example purpose. So I decide in every single sprint being of 3 weeks, I'm going to deliver at least 3 features. So based on this agreement and complexity and priority decision, what I am putting in, I'm putting inside cash deposit, cash refund, and cash withdrawal. 3 features in my first backlog. Okay, these all should carry out these all should be carried out by the Scrum team. They every day work on this. They will huddle it up, and in daily Scrum they will talk about what exactly they have done yesterday, what exactly they are planning to do today, and where they are finding any any hurdle where they are feeling stuck. Okay, then business analyst or Scrum master or product owner will help them to unstuck, but not inside the daily Scrum. Daily Scrum is only mean to talk about 3 things: what they did yesterday, and what they are going to do today, and where was the problem they faced. Okay, and what exactly is happening. Remember, so since I have talked about 3 features taking inside sprint backlog item, so any sprint can be of minimum 2 people. Any Scrum team can consist of two members, and maximum of 9 members. So 2 to 9 is the range. Okay, and these all goes on in daily Scrum. They are working, and at the sprint they deliver it, they ship it. Once they ship it, what exactly happens? They go back towards the sprint review meeting, and it splits in two parallel activity. One goes back towards the sprint retrospective, where we talk about what went well, what did not go well, what was the learning and all, and how we can implement it further. And then inside sprint review meeting, we come back over inside the sprint planning and review that what the another features we can pull from sprint product backlog towards the sprint backlog. So this is just to simplify it. So I think I made some sense to you guys. Yeah.
Yes. So yes, when you say product backlog, it could also contain the current sprint.
So product backlog is, as I say, to-do activity. So in any starting point, say what has happened, product backlog word itself has made many people confused. So don't understand backlog means which is pending item. Why pending item you can relate with? Because we are about to start with that. Okay, it's not that we have delayed on something or something, that's why it is coming inside the backlog. So from backlog item, whatever we are deciding to put inside the current sprint, that we are pulling from the backlog item. So backlog item is nothing but about future to-do item. Am I making sense? So to start with, mind may get confused because if it has complete past programming about backlog means something I have delayed upon. So no, it's nothing like that. What we are going to work upon, understand this backlog as like this.
Yes, Gaurav, but I would also like to add product backlog is to do that you have rightly mentioned, but again, which we are not doing or which we are not completing is still there in the product backlog, right?
Right.
I think that is why the backlog word is there, which sounds confusing. So it is basically like your Wikipedia for you that you have to draw upon. But then if you were supposed to finish the task in the sprint 3, which you have not completed and you have reached to sprint 4, then that is treated as a backlog. So along with the entire to-dos of your entire project, obviously if you are not completing your to-do, that would be considered as a backlog, and hence it is named as a product backlog, stating it's a bigger version of your than your comparatively smaller sprints. So are we good on this? Everybody understood? Because it is very essential, and I think it's good that we are having this brainstorming now. So in the later sessions, it will be an easy thing to go ahead with. So everybody is fine with this? Chanchal, yes. Pallavi, Nisha?
Yes, I'm good.
Mayank? Okay, great. So I think Gaurav has completed this flow. So as Gaurav mentioned that we have daily meetings and we have incremental manner, increment, I think the word everybody does understand. And then there comes the sprint review, wherein we sit and we have an introspection, wherein what did we work on, how well did it go, where we could have done better, if we had some better set of resources, or we could utilize our time better, everything starting with time management to client management to resource management. See, again, all these are keywords, resource management, time management. So try to get them from the point of view, try to understand, oh, tomorrow if I have to give an interview, if I'm talk to any other professional, how would I sound relatable? Right, Gaurav? Correct me if I'm, going in another direction. But I suppose these terminologies are useful in your day-to-day working, as well as when you are talking to some other professionals. So can you please go to next slide? Yes. So now we are moving to Scrum facts, which are basically Scrum values, if I have to mention. Again, this may sound like and rather it does, because I have my couple of friends who have done PMP, and they are working in industry as a proper project manager. Currently I'm working as a PMO, so that's a little different portfolio. So what are the Scrum values? And this is again, make it a asterisk that this can be an interview question, because it's one of the highlights. So these 5 which you have mentioned, and this has been added in Scrum Guide in 2016 July. It's pretty recent, so it's not that it was earlier there. They felt like we should be more keen, and we should have some pillars like agile. So we have this courage, focus, commitment, respect, and openness. These 5 values. And if you ask me, or if you have understood Agile till now, we have been talking about this. I mean, commitment, no doubt, has to be a part of everyday work ethic. Respect, yes, you're dealing with each other, you're dealing with multiple teams, you have small but high intensity and high delivery providing teams, so respect for each other. Openness, as in it's a small word, small world when you're dealing in the Agile and Scrum. We have your team, you have your product owner and Scrum master, so you are very closely knit. You're dealing with everybody on day-to-day basis, regular intervals. So yes, openness, there is no hide and seek kind of game. All the facts are clear, your sprint details, your updates, everything is in open. And courage and focus, yes, though these words might sound little strong, focus is fine, but courage. But trust me, when you work in such an environment where the pressure is actually high, though we are understanding from a theoretical or methodological point of view, when you actually work as a part of development team, you realize you have a ticking, I won't call it a time bomb, but you have a stopwatch every day. Once you log in, you have maybe 8 to 9 hours, and it's tick tick tick. So you are working like that. After every 2 to 3 hours, you just have a small brainstorming session, or at least discussion with your team. You have your Scrum meeting wherein you need to tell that what you have achieved or delivered. So it's a very time bound activity. Every second matters. Even if I say that, it won't be it won't be a false statement. It's actually the thing. So in such environment, you should have your mindset, you should have your skills sharpened, and you should be there on the job giving your best. So Gaurav, will you please go to the next slide, wherein I have a diagram with these values. So yes, this time we have tried to add more diagrams, so it could give you a graphical representation. And if you even take a picture of it, or if you can glance through it, I know at times theory can be a little boring or repetitive, but okay. So see how the Scrum values are depicted. So courage means you have to do the right thing at the right time, even on the tough problems. See, it's not always very easy to go ahead in a day-to-day work. There are practical challenges with development. Luckily, you won't be a part of it, but I, as earlier worked on in an active development team, or as a technical project manager, have realized there are some things which are complex. I won't say they're impossible, but they're complex. So for that, you need to put in those extra hours of research along with your work. You need to brainstorm with seniors or with skill experts in that skill. So yes, the courage to provide that output and to do the right thing at the right time on difficult or critical problems is very important. We all, as a part of Scrum team, has to focus on the delivery. So first of all, delivery means you will focus on the sprint output, or your delivery of the sprint, and your overall project output. So your first thing is your sprint has to be completed and delivered, and then that will in turn deliver your entire product backlog. Because your sprint is basically small chunks of your product backlog, and if you complete a sprint properly, your product backlog will also be reduced and it will be completed on time. So right, courage and focus is apparently pretty self-explanatory as well. Commitment, I don't think so I need to talk on it. Every employee, every person of the team has to be committed towards the goals of the Scrum, towards your team goals, towards achieving the given action items and delivering it to the customer. See, you're talking daily to customer. Try to understand. It's a good thing to have a good rapport with the client, but just to give you a glance of it, you have you are being observed or you are being reviewed daily. That's also, though it's a very good point for motivating factor also, that you are, oh yes, my work is being reviewed, I'm being valued, yes, but at times when you might be low on energy, it can be pretty pressurized also, oh that you don't have a breathing space. So these things do happen. That's why we work in such a team where everybody is supportive, everybody's got each other's back, and they are there to help them. So then yes, respect, you have to respect everybody's capability, because mostly people work independently on their action items, though you have support of other colleagues or your seniors, but then everybody has been given assigned tasks. So yes, respect among team members is essential, and openness to the stakeholders, to the management, to the seniors, to the clients, it's very important, and that goes actually for every industry. So anybody has any doubts on this values of Scrum, please ask. It is pretty self-explanatory, but still, with respect to Scrum, if you feel you have any questions, please go ahead. Or if Gaurav wants to add, I'll just request him.
Yeah, thank you, Prernaji. So instead of asking them to ask some question, I have one interesting thing to ask them to do, everyone. So be ready. So first I will ask your voluntary. So I'll ask each one of you to raise your hand, take one word and tell us what exactly you have understood from this, and where do you think we can apply in the project or in real time. So let's talk about courage. So how would you demonstrate? Can any one of you give me the example? Chanchal, Mayank, Nisha and Dipti. Pallavi is not there. So who can go first? Courage. Let's talk about courage. I want to know from you.
I think courage talks about the regular meeting. If you have any issues, you bring it up and you talk about it, and you bring it to the light in front of your management team. And I think that's what courage talks about.
Yeah, so that's the theory part. So tell me, Mayank, how will you demonstrate? Like we are in a team working together. How can you demonstrate me your courage on the work ground?
So the team, the project assigned to me or the work assigned to me, which I volunteered, and I volunteered the first, I took that initiative and I talked about it. That talks about courage. And I said, I'm going to volunteer and do this. And then in the meeting, I come up and make sure that I did my part. And I think that's what
very well said. Very well said. And thank you. Yes, as you said, that I volunteer myself, because that's how it happens. It's not that someone is going to assign you something, but before that, if you show the courage and you choose some activity like, hey, I can work on this feature, can I? So that is demonstrating courage. So rightly said. So thank you. Can we give a round of applause for Mayank for answering this well? So thank you for understanding and responding. Thank you. So now I want someone to answer about focus. So who can come next after Mayank? Who can grab this opportunity? Yeah, Nisha, go ahead. You have unmuted yourself.
Yeah. Focus is basically concentrating on completing the action, task, or anything assigned to me to work towards the final goal.
Yes, very well said, that you are not diverting your focus and you are focusing exactly on what you are doing and towards the completion of it. Thank you so much for sharing. Can we just again give some round of applause for Nisha? Yeah,
very awesome, well awesome. Very well. Yes.
Yeah. So who can give me the example of commitment? Who can go next? Yes. Chanchal.
Yeah. So for example, voluntarily I have been doing some task. I need to complete it today itself. So there's this shows the commitment, like I need to complete it, whether it will be doing some extra hours of work, but I need to complete the coding for today.
Yes. So what we say that we do, that is the demonstration of commitment. Very well said. Yeah, Chanchal. So let's give a round of applause for Chanchal as well. Thank you. Thank you so much. Very well put. Yeah. So now this is very, 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 and very important, I would say, about respect and openness. So can one person tell me both the example, one example adding this respect and openness? So yeah, Dipti has raised her hand. Yeah, Dipti, go ahead.
Yeah, so respect and openness is basically in the Scrum, we are meeting every day, giving the updates on the daily stand up. So we are closely working as a team. So we should respect each other. Maybe, you know, others may be having some obstacles, I mean, especially in the development. There are some, you know, unplanned things, or, you know, there can be some there can be some deviations from the things. You cannot plan everything 100%. So we should respect each other, and we should respect each other in terms of colleague, in terms of their work, because we are working very closely. We are tightly working in a closed environment. We are giving the updates regularly. So sometimes, you know, sometimes if somebody is stuck at some place, so we should respect that. And openness is, you know, as we are meeting in the daily stand-ups and all, so we are, you know, we are thinking loud. We are very open to what we are doing and where we are stuck and why we are stuck. So we should better try to help each other whatever we can, rather than, you know, rather than
yeah, you are going well. Yes.
Yeah. So
rather being closed, open
yes.
is better.
Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like you should have mutual respect for each other's work, because you are tightly coupled. You are you have a vision, or everything is very transparent in that environment. So we should respect each other's work, and, you know, even when they are stuck somewhere. So
yes, well said, very well put together. So thank you so much, Dipti, for sharing. Let's give a round of applause for Dipti as well. Thank you for sharing.
Yes.
Yeah, so just to once again simplify this, so what I can say in this term is, it's like, hey, I'm stuck somewhere and I'm accepting that. And if I am accepting that, I'm declaring that in meeting and in front of my development team. My development team is respecting my values and my understanding and my challenge, and that's how they are showing their openness by volunteering their courage. As Mayank has earlier said, that okay, since you have stuck over there, may I help you something upon something? So this is what we can do together. So there, from their peer programming and extreme programming can come together. So this is all value revolves together towards the Scrum value. So this is how we have put together, and every one of you have understood very well. That's what I was checking, whether whatever we are delivering, you're getting that or not, and you are very well put your example as well. Thank you so much. So back to Prernaji.
I have a quick question. So how would you relate these principles on your day-to-day life? Like, you've been in the actual, I have not been in actual work. So
okay,
how would you relate that to your daily work?
Very good and apt question, Mayank, first of all. And as I have been explaining, when you work in an actual project, live project environment, all these things eventually become a part of your character or a part of your daily behavior. So courage, as I was mentioning, at times there is pressure because you have a, you know, a clearly planned sprint. You have set of your task which needs to be completed. So imagine by any other unforeseen events, maybe health or some natural calamities. Per se in Mumbai, you know, during the rains how it is rained and you're not able to go to office. This is, I'm talking about the times when there was no work from home. So what happens if you're missed on a day? Imagine if there is some unplanned leave, and then you have that day's work pending on you, and which needs to be completed within the upcoming days, right? So you can stretch on, and then in many big organizations, even to work on weekends is not an easy thing. You have to take approvals. I remember, luckily, I never worked on weekend in Accenture because it was such a strict thing. To come to office on a non-working day, you had to take approvals from your seniors. You had to justify them that, okay, there is some, important or emergency task. So imagine if that is not the first preference, how would you try to accommodate your 9 days work that is pending in other days? So you'll have to definitely stretch each day, maybe at least by hour or two to complete that work. So that requires courage. That, though it was an unplanned event, but then you are somewhere, you do have your own personal backlog to finish, if I have to say in the technical terms. So that requires courage, and definitely that would require focus. You cannot keep having all those lighter moments and chitty chats and breaks. You do sometimes, which are essential, but not in comparison with your general day-to-day work and Scrum. Because as I told you, you have we keep having midday review when you used to again have a stand-up at around 4 p.m. So if you're logging at 9 a.m. to 4 p.m., so within this 7 hours, odd hours, what have you completed? Even that includes your lunch break and all. So in such an dynamic and challenging and, or I would say, environment, when you're being asked for your output, it is very important to have that commitment and focus and the respect. As I was, I'll give you my personal example. When I had joined L&T Infotech, so when you join any particular project, especially in such environment, you are kept as a shadow resource for some time to learn about the project, right? You cannot be just a billable resource to the client wherein you're not aware what is happening. So for some time, you work along with a senior member of your team or the member who was earlier present. So in my case, I was very new. I was not even a weeks old in the company, and I was in the new project, and I was working along with a team member as a shadow resource. This is also a term. Shadow resource means you're working with a senior or some resource, and you're not billable to the client directly. But one fine day, that colleague or senior of mine fell sick out of nowhere, and then she had to be on leave for a couple of days. So that time I was pitched in, I was formally introduced to the client, and and I delivered. So even I sometimes, when we look back, we are not able to understand how could you cater to such a such an environment where you were not ready for it. But because of the commitment, because of the openness of my team, they made me understand what are the things which were required. Because I was not the prime member of that team till that time. I was barely a week old in the project. So you take time to understand what is the sprint, what is the entire functionality of your project, what is the desired output. So that one experience, and that happened a couple of times. Later I became well equipped with it because I was getting used to the project work. But when you're new, especially, that times these things matter the most. What is your focus? So trust me, if you want to say courage, that time I did experience, because you're 1 week old, you're not aware of the other party or the client that much, though you attend the meeting, but you're not interactive. But talking to them, getting work done and delivering, I did get an appreciation mail from my Scrum Master that that weekend, because even for their surprise, I could work on it. And even trust me, as an experience, I wonder that sometimes we say the situation enables you. So yes, these values, they actually come into you, or you indirectly implement them without even knowing. And commitment and respect, these are the normal things which happen in other environment also. I suppose I have answered your question, Mayank, or I will also.
Thank you so much.
Welcome. I'll also request Gaurav to add, because he has a lot more experience than me, so I'm pretty sure he will add something very useful and wonderful.
Yeah, thank you so much, Prernaji. So understand this thing, I just wanted to and curious to add this part. I understand that since people who have not worked in the real-time agile methodology and in the real project, which is following agile approach, they will not understand how to demonstrate this thing. When we say talk about Scrum values, courage, how will you demonstrate? Okay, So this is the question and how to answer it. So what exactly you do when you have to demonstrate courage? There are 3 ways you can demonstrate your courage. Number 1, either you do, either you respond through words or through words in a verb or in writing. Okay, that's the second one. And third is by acknowledging or admitting. So how do you do this? So you simply communicate that. So the simple word for courage is that communicate. You do communicate in any fashion, it doesn't matter. Okay, so even if you are in meeting, when someone is giving you some feedback that, hey, you need to improve on this, you acknowledge that, you admit that, that shows the courage. That's one scenario. Second scenario, you are hey, we have these many complex feature and we want to finish it fast and we are running short of a hand. So you volunteer yourself and you say to your product owner, okay, fine, I think I had taken earlier, this was the small priority task, and I think I can finish it instead of 8 hours within 2 hours itself, and I think I can leverage my time taking this another feature, and may I volunteer to do this, as Mayank had earlier said. What we did here, so we showed, demonstrated courage. How? By communicating. So is it making sense about courage? So a question may come up. Okay, these guys are talking about courage, focus, commitment. I totally understand these are Scrum values, but in real time fashion, how do we generally demonstrate? So this is nothing about hard and fast thing. It's only about communicating. Focus, how you can demonstrate focus. Again, about focus, you can pull this in your communication. How can you pull this? Since when you are talking about in your daily stand-up about your one feature on which you are working, they're only talking about one feature you are working and not deviating from the core point. You are demonstrating focus. How did you demonstrate that? Just by communicating. Okay, commitment, again, in daily stand-up you showed, okay, I think that even though it is 8 hours and I think because of XYZ issue I have not completed it because it was the blocking this thing, I can put some hours and I could complete that. So that shows the commitment. How did you demonstrate that? You demonstrated in 2 ways. One, by communicating, and second, by logging your time into the actual ticket on which you are working. So that's the second one. So again, this is a separate part about logging time and all we will talk about later. Again, respect as in someone is talking about the challenge and you are listening to that and you admitting, acknowledging that. That's how you are demonstrating respect. How did you demonstrate that? So you just by communicating. So everything involves, if you trace it back further, you will understand it's all about communicating through different features, through different ways you are demonstrating these all. So these are nothing but, in my terminologies, these are just a philosophy, but the important ones, which combines things together and let things flow, let things complete in flow. Okay, that's what I just wanted to add. Back to you, Prerna ji. I think I have added something.
Thank you so much, Gaurav. And definitely, these are the crucial points and wonderful explanation. Thank you so much. Can we please move on to next slide? Okay, so this is basically what we have discussed. It's just some pointers to you to think upon or to Google upon later. What are the benefits? So these are similar to Agile, but specific to Scrum. So increase in the quality of deliverables, definitely, because you work in such an high-paced and time-bound environment. Cope better with change and expect the changes. Yes, so change is the only constant thing in Agile and Scrum. If I say this, I am pretty sure it should not be a hyperbole to use. Yes, basically, your requirements, your actionables, they do keep changing. It's not that changing on daily basis, but once you develop your client previews, you're expecting the change. So you know that you're working in a dynamic environment wherein there can be technical challenges, or there can be functionality changes. So you are prepared for that, and that is in a way better for you because you get to understand and learn and deliver in such an environment, though it is not an easy task. When Mayank asked, what was your personal experience on the professional grounds? It's like every day is a new discovery. Though you have your own skill set, but there are times particular functionality might require you to deep dive into some, open source code or some other functionality, some other coding practices, some workflows, even from the implementation point of view. So yes, every day is in learning, and it does sound exciting. It is, because you're adding something new to your knowledge base each and every day, and provide better estimates while spending less time creating them. So yes, you do not spend too much time on in detail planning because you're already good in that. We have such people who are highly skilled in preparing good plans in a shorter period. So you, in minimum, so bottom line would be in minimum time, maximum output, and that stands for your delivery. That stands for your plan creation, everything, and be more in control of your project schedule and state. So yes, as we have been discussing about sprint planning and what does your sprint consist and everything, you are, and rather you have to be in control of your outputs and delivery from the product schedule point of view. So unless you deliver in sprint 1 and you don't have a very big backlog, you will be definitely, or rather the chances of success for sprint 2 development will also enhance. So yes, these are the benefits of Scrum. Gaurav, I would request you to move on to next slides. Okay, so this is basically kind of like a recap from the benefits point of view of Agile, and I tried to give it up, according to each team member wise. So yes, what is the benefit of Agile for a customer? That customer gets his, high value features, or do you say his demands or expectations are met. The delivery is very quick in a circular or an incremental fashion. Right now, I think everybody understands when we say incremental or fashion. It's not waterfall that you go to the client at the end of the implementation. You're talking with customer in every sprints and every cycle, and you're very responsive. So you're talking to the customer daily, or in your meetings, your face-to-face discussions. So they are aware of what you're working on, and their requests are also met. So I think benefits to customers are clear. If anybody has any doubts on this, please ask. Hello, good morning. I hope everybody's awake.
Yes,
I know it's been a long session. Yes. So I know this is kind of repetitive, but I'll just take a breeze through it. So yes, along with customer, your development team also has advantage that they enjoy the development work as it is challenging. It gives them enough motivation to wake up and go to work next day, because there are people who are technically very sound and they love these environment where they want to explore and implement. So definitely this is the environment for them, and your contribution, your work, your delivery is very much valued. As we studied the values of Scrum being respect and openness and commitment, yes, your delivery, and as I gave my personal example, your output is valued. You're being respected for your work. So that is a very big thing. That's a very big motivating factor in any industry. When you're working and you're being appreciated, you're being recognized for that, trust me, it's like a cherry on the cake. You feel so overwhelmed, and you feel so motivated to give your best further. So that's very important. And yes, as I mentioned, your non-productive work, your extra breaks, your little slack movements are cut down because you are answerable for your hourly outputs or your daily output. So yes, it does gives a great emphasize on developing your team, grooming them, and becoming better in their output. So Scrum Master is a person who is responsible for all that. We will study this role in next session, but as of now, with respect to benefits, so that the planning and the task level tracking of this meeting becomes very easier for them, as they have a sprint plan. They have a planned sprint in stock with them, so they can always check. Okay, this like basically the tick box thing for them. Okay, are we done with this? No, yes. Where are we? Where we stand with the delivery? With the client expectations. What is the current progress of their team? So it's very easy for them to manage these things. They are throughout aware of the project status because they are so much involved in the project. They have planned the sprint, so they know where we stand from the delivery point of view. And being the Scrum Master is one of the very essential feature, or their expectation from that role is they should be there to address the issue. So for example, if somebody is on a sick leave, there is some issue, the resource is no more with the organization, though that can be planned. But if there is any unforeseen issue or any unexpected requirement from the client, how to handle that, how to make sure that doesn't hamper the current development team's progress, it doesn't hamper their what do you say, motivation, or it doesn't hamper the overall delivery, how you to have cordial relationship with customer as well as internal teams. This all agile basically helps the scrum master in all this, because you have your scrum meetings, you have your stand-ups, you have your discussions, so everything is planned and it's placed very well. So scrum master is very is enabled to carry out his duties and his responsibilities well. So Gaurav, can we move to next slide, please? Okay. So again, vendor, product owner, and PMOs and C-level executive. So vendor is basically if you are hiring some resources from outside, those can be treated as vendors. They can be providing resources, they can be providing your application, software, maintenance, support, anything. So yes, they get a focused high value feature. Their efficiency, increased efficiency because of agile work mode. Faster, quicker, better quality, and reduce wastage and decreased overhead. As in, your actual resources, as in your team, is also utilized in a very good manner. There is no time slack. There is proper utilization of their schedule, their resources. Again, if they are providing you with the software, with the applications, with the machineries, that is also used very well. So optimum utilization of all the resources, including time, money, your skills, that is the vendor benefits they get, that is the benefits vendor get when you work in agile. So product owner, yes, who is the overall owner of this entire project per se, so he's aware and he's aligned with what the customer needs are and what your team is working on. So there is a cordial relation with whatever is expected and whatever is getting delivered, which is very important. Many a times in real life scenarios, there is a huge gap, maybe because of not a cleared business requirement document, or maybe there are not enough meetings with the customer, or at times even customer or client is not clear in their head with their requirement. But herein, as we are documenting everything, we're talking to customers on mostly on daily basis, there is a clear cut understanding of what is expected and what is being delivered. So there are opportunities to keep prioritizing work. If that was not earlier part of completed in earlier sprint, you can take it up in this sprint. You can complete that, and then your delivery has the maximum value because it comes with good quality, time bound, with the help of expert and skilled resources. So your overall delivery looks good. It's of high quality. When I say delivery looks good, as in whatever you have committed to the customer, when you deliver that application, that project, that functionality, definitely your client is going to be happy. They'll have a smile on their face. They'll be feeling they'll have a feeling of trust that yes, our our ask or our expectation has been met. So that's a very good motivating factor for as a product owner to have. And last but not the least, PMOs like me and other high level executives, so they do have a visibility of the project on daily basis. We do know what is happening in a project. On if I get a sprint, I can very well understand, oh no, this day we were to achieve this, earlier day we had achieved that, oh this is the backlog, these are the team members, this is how we are working. So to help the higher management, they get a clear view of the because in an organization there are multiple projects, right? So it's very difficult for the senior management to get a clear view. So Agile and Scrum provides them with the understanding that this is where we are in project development phase, this is how we are catering to clients. So it's very easier for them to prepare strategies and come up with the future plan accordingly. And yes, they as they have the details with them in ready in hand, there is a very lesser speculation, and they are very confident about how the future strategies, a future plan can be made. So this is the benefits of all the stakeholders, if I have to use that word, from Agile point of view. Gaurav, can you please move on? I think I'm done here, but yes. So this is the overall last punch I would say I wanted to share with you regarding the Agile benefits, because this can be asked in an interview, stating why do we use Agile. The interviewer might not ask you, okay, what are the benefits? That's a very plain question to use. It's like, why do we use Agile? What how can it be beneficial, or why what it does to different stakeholders. So yes, these diagrams or these images are your guiding lines, wherein you can understand it has importance for every team members or every member of your organization it caters to. So yes, now we are coming towards the end of our session. Any questions on this overall? Gaurav, if you want to add anything, please feel free.
So I'm all good. Only thing I just wanted to supply over here is a disclaimer, which I can add after the session is over, once recording is done. I think it is very, very important what the disclaimer I'll put in. So yeah, go ahead, ask any question if you have.
In all these, what you mentioned, benefits of Agile, you have mentioned a lot of roles like Scrum Master, Product Owner. Where is the business analyst here?
Okay. May I know who asked this question?
Nisha.
Okay. Hi, Nisha. Nisha, I will kind of, in a way, park this question for the next session, because the business analyst also plays a variety of roles in Scrum environment. What we will be, how will be, because a simple or a senior or a highly skilled or experienced business analyst also can act as a Scrum Master. At times, if he's in a senior level, he can act as a product owner. So see, business analyst is a designation, right? It's a role. But when you work in this environment, that person can given as a different role to perform. If you have a good understanding of particular domain, of particular industry, of a particular client, if you have worked with a particular client for many years as a business analyst, you can very well act as a Scrum Master as well. So yes, all these benefits are also applicable to business analysts, though it was not there separately, but they are. But then as a business analyst, you can work in any other, in one of the roles as well. You can be maybe a team member, not a development team member, but as a team member, as a business analyst, to get the requirement, to understand, or you can act as a Scrum Master or product owner, depending upon your experience and your understanding level.
Yeah, so just here to add, guys, Prerna ji and Nisha ji. So understand this, Agile Scrum, when we talk about, it has only 3 team members. Okay, when I say 3 teams, it is entirely called as Scrum team. Scrum team is nothing, but it consists of product owner, development team, as well as Scrum Master. Okay, now when we are talking about development team, you are asking about where the business analyst is, where his testers are. So these entire, apart from Scrum Master and product owner, whatever the designations are, those designations are part of development team. Okay, so name may appear that development team will do only development. No, development team will consist of entire teamlet. People work in teamlet. One developer, one tester can work with one business analyst as well. So development team will consist of all the team members apart from Scrum Master and this guy, product owner. So does it make sense? Which you will learn in the subsequent model, which is upcoming in few days. Thank you. Yeah, welcome. Yeah. Any another question?
Thank you for the question. Yeah. Yeah.
Any other question?
I think we did have an interactive session wherein they did ask the questions in between, but still, guys, this is an open forum. If you have any doubts, please.
I'm good.
Okay, cool.
I'm good for now. It's like, I think it's too much information for one day.
Yeah.
I understand. That is why.
You know what? I think it should be the other way around. We should be waking up in the morning at 5 o'clock, and you should be taking this class at 8:30.
Okay.
Not an issue. Not an issue.
Yes, I agree. I agree with this.
Okay, I am okay with waking up at 5:30. I don't know.
Me too. I'm okay.
Okay. No problem. So we will work on this. So for now, we have come to the end. And that's why thank you to each one of you for participating and doing this week 2, day 1. Thank you so much. I'm ending the recording.